McGuffey. Oh my God. Freaking liberals. I love it when they feed on each other. Now look, I think these firings of these people are absolutely outrageous and crazy. But it just goes to show that if you support the liberals, the first time that they can turn on you and call you a mean white person, they will. So this Georgetown professor right here is talking to a colleague on what she thinks to be a private Zoom call. Somehow, it gets leaked and made public. We don't know how. So, if you're going to hear what she says here, her words to me are not racist at all. They're fact-driven. She actually feels bad that she has to give bad grades to black people because they can't perform. And they end up firing her and calling her a racist. It is just absolutely crazy. And then the white guy who she's talking to didn't even agree with her, didn't say, yeah, all my black students are stupid too, didn't say anything. But because he didn't rat her out and immediately condemn her, he got fired. They both got, I think, 20 years as instructors or professors at this Georgetown University of Law. And I mean, it's just absolutely crazy on how quickly your career can be over if you disagree with the left in any way. I'm just shocked. Listen to what this woman says. Nothing about what she says is degrading to black people. And yet black people demanded she was fired for speaking the truth. Wow.
I hate to say this. I end up having this, angst every semester that a lot of my lower ones are blacks. Happens almost every semester.
Now let's try to look at this with a little bit of fact instead of emotion and crazy left-wing screaming, hollering, and wanting to go burn down everything and riot. I'm sorry, peaceful protest. Maybe if they didn't have quota acceptance and quota hiring and they weren't so worried about having a diverse college. See, Georgetown has to have a diverse populace. So what do? They accept people with lower scores because of their color. They lower the standard. So you put somebody in a college that holds people to a high standard, other people who aren't people of color, and you allow them in because of their color, and then you're shocked when they can't keep up with the class and the people who had to get in with higher scores. So if you're grading on who is higher and who is lower, they actually set the black students up to fail by putting them into a college that they shouldn't be in because they didn't earn it. They didn't have the grades. They didn't have the tenacity to study. They didn't earn getting in there. They got in because of their color. And now, because they end up at the bottom, you have some white liberal guilt feeling bad that she has to give them bad grades because they can't cut the mustard because they were accepted when they shouldn't have been. They were accepted for their color versus their academic ability. And now she feels bad about it. And the left turns on her and says she's racist. It's just freaking crazy.
And it's like, oh, come on. Get some really good ones, but there are also usually some that are just plain at the bottom.
They're at the bottom. Why? She didn't say she put them at the bottom. She didn't say she put them there because she didn't like blacks. She feels bad giving them the grade that they earned because in liberal world, she would want to give them A's. And now the black caucus, whatever they have, black student, black instructors, the black people that hate white people, whatever they're calling their name, is coming out and making her the bad guy. And they want all reviews for black students covered because they think blacks aren't given a fair chance. See, that's what happens when you lower standards and you start hiring people because of what bathroom they use, what color they are, what religion, what beliefs they are. You allow them into colleges that require a certain level of knowledge, and then when they don't have it, you let them in anyway because you want to feel good because of your white guilt, or you want diversity as our strength crap, or whatever else the left is selling. And then when you set them up to fail, you cry foul when they can't cut the mustard. What about the good black students that actually studied hard, that are actually smarter, than the other black students that worked hard, worked jobs, earned their way in, and made the grade, and they're at the top of their class. What does that tell them? That the people at the bottom are going to get passed and get better grades, even though they busted their ass and worked hard as a black student. See, that's the problem with quota hiring, is you set up this imaginary thing that all blacks are created equal, and all women are created equal, and all people are created equal. And if they're not equal, then we're going to lower the standard to make them feel like they're equal. Then when they fail, we're going to blame it on the person that feels bad for failing them. It is just absolutely mind-boggling on what they're doing. And it's on a massive scale, and people are just too stupid to freaking speak out about it because they're afraid they'll lose their job. He was put on administrative leave, had to quit. They were going to fire him, and he quit. They're talking about the performance of black students, not in a negative way. They're not saying my black students are stupid, they probably shouldn't be here. They're not even saying that. They're saying every year, a large percentage of my black students are always at the bottom, and I have to give them the grades they earned, and I feel bad about it. They're sitting here playing the liberal card, trying to get rid of their white guilt, and try to say that I'm so inclusive that I want to give black people who fail to perform a better grade because I feel bad giving them the grade they earned. I mean, the ignorant and hypocrisy of this is just crazy.
They were a bit jumbled.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Oh, he agreed and nodded his head. Get Whitey! Oh, no, you're going down too. You're on administrative leave. Look at him. He's even got a white sheet on his couch, and he's got a white shirt. Ooh, man, this dude's got to go. So 10 years, 20 years at the liberal Georgetown College, pushing their liberal left agenda, running around, doing his left-wing shit, which ain't got nothing to do with fair or grades or earning, and now they turned on him. Ha, ha, ha! I laugh at you, you fool! Ha, ha, ha!
When I can put it, it's like, okay, let me reason through that, what you just said.
Now, if you're reading this, this is from the black college. Who is this from? Dear Georgetown. See, they only show you the part that they don't want to inflame you. So this is from the Black Law Students Association. I wonder what the White Law Students Association had to say about this. Oh, I'm sorry. They're not allowed to have a white. Only special class people can have special things that are not inclusive. See, black law students means they're not inclusive to Hispanics, to blacks, to anybody except black. No, Rick, yeah, that's because you're a freaking idiot. So anyway, the black law students write this. We are writing on behalf of the Georgetown Black Law Students to express our condemnation of the Georgetown University Law Center and Professor Sandra Sellers. Well, Sandra's about to get sold out from her Sellers. This semester, Professor Sellers was recorded doing what she believed was a private meeting. Is anybody trying to investigate? I wonder if the FBI is all over this investigation. They'll be posting pictures on how somebody hacked into somebody's computer or private Zoom and made it public. I wonder who hacked into this. I wonder if it was the White Student Association that hacked into this. Probably so. Some white supremacist group. Anyway, the private meeting of Professor David, where they were both discussing a black student's performance in a course they taught jointly. In the meeting, Professor Sellers said the following. I end up having an angst every semester that a lot of my lower ones are blacks. Happens almost every semester. Fact. Not that she did it, not that she did anything wrong. She said it happens every semester. Fact. And it's like, oh, come on. It's some really good ones out there, but they are also usually some of the just plain at the bottom. It drives me crazy. She's actually feeling bad about giving black students the grade they deserved. That's how crazy she is. And you know what? It cost her a job. Ha ha ha! I laugh at you, you fool! Professor Sellers was speaking in reference to black students in her class. She stated that the black student was being placed at the bottom of the grading curve. Well, first of all, they weren't being placed there. That's where they earned their grade. They failed to perform, at the top level to be in the top half, so they got in the bottom half. It was their choice to not make the grade. They didn't apply themselves. They weren't smart enough. Maybe they shouldn't have been accepted to the college because they didn't earn their way in and they didn't have the ability, the cognitive ability to study as hard and to learn at a higher level in order to make it to the top. Look, when you have a group of people, you're going to have people that are better and people that aren't good. That's why you have standards to get in. So you don't let people in that don't belong there because you know they're going to fail. But we can't do that with black students or we'll be racist. So we let them in. Then when they end up at the bottom because they can't perform, we call everyone racist because they're at the bottom. It's just freaking crazy, people. We demand nothing short of immediate termination of Sandra Sellers and the other professor. Not suspension, not an investigation. So they don't even want them to investigate. They don't want to talk to them. They don't want due process. Why? Because they're white and they're automatically guilty. And all white people are always automatically guilty and they're always automatically racist. And only black people can have a black organization named for black people and they're not racist. Absolutely crazy. Racist statements. I didn't hear one racist statement. I heard her saying she felt bad because the black students couldn't cut the mustard, because they weren't smart enough, because they were allowed to get in when they didn't have the abilities to keep up. So therefore, you know what we need to do? We need to dumb down the entire course in order to make the black students that we let in that didn't earn their way in, but were let in because they were black, we need to dumb down the whole course so they can keep up. That's how you lower the standard. That's how you make a populace of ignorant people, because you lower and you make everyone fall to the degree of the lowest denominator. And I'm not saying all blacks are at the lowest denominator. I'm saying in this case, if you let white students in that didn't earn it and that weren't smart enough to be there, and you just let them in with a high school diploma because they were white and they were at the bottom, Ray Charles could see that shit coming. Of course they're not going to make it because you let them in for something other than a standard. It's just crazy. Systematic law school grading, Georgetown. So now the grading is wrong. Why? Not because of any fact. Not because of anybody knows that they were grading or lower. Not because there's any direct or indirect evidence. There's not even circumstantial evidence that the grading is wrong. The only reason the grading is wrong is because black students are at the bottom. So it must be wrong. It can't be those black students couldn't keep up. It can't be they probably didn't deserve to be there. It can't be that they were put in a school above their level to obtain the grade that is required to be at the top. No, it can't be that, Rick. It's the black law students that said it must be the grading. Man, I'm telling you, I am so freaking tired and nobody can speak out against this or they're immediately. I'm sure there's going to be people calling me all kind of the big R word and I hate black. Whatever, people. Look, I'm taking up for the black person that's at the top of the list that worked his or her ass off to get there, that applied herself, that didn't go out and party and learn and worked hard to be at the top. That's who I'm taking up for. So if you want to come at me with some racist bullshit, why don't you go find the black person at the top and ask them what they think about giving grades to black people at the bottom that they had to work hard and earn. That devalues their certificate when they graduate from this college because they worked hard, when other people are graduating at the bottom that shouldn't have been there because we gave them a grade because we didn't want to be called racist. Why don't you ask some of the top performing black people what they think and see if they don't agree with me? Because you know what? They will agree with me, but the left don't want to hear that. And they don't want to show them because they're not down for the lies and the cause. Outrageous. We'll end that there. More media lies that will never be exposed by our lying left-wing media and our lying government politicians. All right, we'll end that there.